Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Bukayo Saka's new contract. SR Corin says that Arsenal will get that one done. Arsenal still confident that they will get the Bukayo Saka contract done. And that could be at the end of the season. That could have a really, really big problem if Arsenal win the Premier League. But we'll talk about that. According to The Athletic, Arsenal are big admirers of Jude Bellingham. But the price, which is 150 million euros for the summer, will actually deter Arsenal from making a move for Jude Bellingham. We'll be talking about that. Xhaka's new contract as well is in the pipeline. And Arsenal are prepared to pay over 25 million euros for 18-year-old right back Ivan Frasneda. All that and more in this episode of Cossy Arsenal podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, and do follow me on the Night More podcast on YouTube. Lots of content for you there, so please do check it out as well. Let's get this video to 500 likes if you're feeling generous this early morning. Now, where do we start? Let's start off with the new leaked kits that Arsenal have actually been linked with. This is apparently what the 2023-2024 season kits are going to look like. Now, I honestly don't understand the difference between the away kit that has been put up and the away kit we had last season. To be honest, I don't see a difference apart from the few patterns that have been put in. That away kit is a cut and copy, and I will not buy it if Arsenal put it out. I already have that one. Now, the home kit for next season has kind of gold in terms of writing. The Emirates Fly Better, the gold. And I can also see it's kind of different. I don't know. When I look at those two kits, and I picture in my mind that Arsenal are going to be in the UEFA Champions League next season, I think we can do better. But I need your thoughts. I need your opinions on these kits. And the problem here, guys, is that whenever kits are leaked in February, March, April, that is the final result, right? If this was leaked like in January, you would expect a different kind of jersey to come out. But this is the end of February, and these are the kits potentially Arsenal are taking to the UEFA Champions League. I'm not satisfied. Look, we cannot come from our very beautiful black and kind of gold away kit, which is absolutely the best kit in the world right now, to that away kit. No, please do not go. I don't love the yellow kits first and foremost. I love black better. And these kits don't look like Champions League kits, right? The home kit maybe, but the away kit, I pray it's not the cup. I pray it's not the kit. I just don't like it, or to be honest. But let me know in the comment box what you think about those two kits. I will just show them to you just for one more second, right? The red one is the home kit. The yellow one is potentially the away kit. Adidas, please, you can do better than that. You can really do better than that. I'm rejecting those two kits right away. Now, according to SR Collins, Arsenal are still confident of getting the Bukayo Saka deal done. Now, this is becoming a roller coaster. It's becoming a deja vu story, and there is kind of fear among people near Arsenal that Bukayo Saka's contract might actually be even difficult. That, now that Arsenal are in the title race, and if Arsenal win it, if Bukayo Saka goes on to make 30 goal contributions in a single season, or even 25 goal contributions in a single season, Arsenal might struggle to keep him, and we might actually struggle to renew his deal. Now, I said this in December, and if you still remember, I said Arsenal will struggle to renew Bukayo Saka's contract after the World Cup. Reason? I saw it. I literally saw it that it was going to shine. I literally saw it that it was going to blow up at the World Cup. There were so many young players in the World Cup: Jamal Musiala, Pedri, Gavi, Rashford, and all these other players. But when you look at Saka's impact, when you look at what Saka did at the World Cup, at the back of a very bad Euros where he missed a penalty and he received all kinds of criticism, to Bukayo Saka putting in that performance for England at the World Cup, it was always going to be difficult. It was always going to make it difficult for Arsenal to renew his deal. And I prayed and said, can Arsenal renew his deal before we go into the World Cup? Can Arsenal do that before we go to the World Cup? Because he was always going to be a big member of that English side. Of course, he was a big member of the English starting 11, did very well, and his representatives have gone, well, we are having a 21-year-old that is doing all these kind of wonders. How about Arsenal give us 200k per week, or 250k per week, or 300k per week? Look, it will depend on the madness and how far they are willing to go in terms of madness. But for me, Arsenal brought this. This deal should have been done in the summer. It should have been done last summer. And why we've not done it until now, why we've not done it, up until the end of the season now, it's quite appalling. It's quite very, very frightening. Do I think Saka will sign a new deal? I think he will sign a new deal, to be honest. But is it going to be easy? No. We might end up giving him more money than Gabriel Jesus is earning at the club, which is 220,000 pounds per week. And everybody is going to tell me, Cossy, he deserves it. My problem is not Saka not deserving the money. My problem is actually not Saka, being not good enough for 220. My problem is that you give Saka 220, William Saliba is going to ask for 200, Gabriel Martinelli at some point in time will ask for 200, Odegaard will ask for 200, Emile Smith will ask for 200, Fabio Vieira will ask for 200. This is a young team, and what you do with one young player, you definitely have to replicate it with the other players. Not as a must, but if at any point in time Martinelli plays better than Saka, you're going to give him that contract. Otherwise, he will feel dissatisfied, disrespected, unwanted, and he will walk away. Okay, so I think with the Bukayo Saka situation, we've kind of put ourselves in a very, very difficult situation. Arsenal can get out of it. I don't have a doubt about that, but it might be costly. It might, in the end, be very, very costly. But we'll talk about that later if I receive a more concrete update, especially from Arsenal, saying that Arsenal, saying that Saka signed. We'll look at the details of that contract, and we will have a real discussion. Now, Arsenal are looking to sign two midfielders, a defensive midfielder and a central midfielder. We'll have a discussion about that with Igal in the evening at 7 p.m. But what I've liked about this is David Ornstein and The Athletic have actually produced a list of teams that are potential contenders for Jude Bellingham. Those teams include Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, and Real Madrid. Yes, you had me right. Arsenal are not real contenders for Jude Bellingham. But the real story is that David Ornstein says that Arsenal are big admirers, very, very big admirers of Jude Bellingham. Although they are not seen as contenders at the moment, they want to sign a central midfielder, and Jude Bellingham is one of the players they admire. And he also goes on to say that the difference here and the problem is with the pricing. 150 million euros is not something Arsenal will pay. It's not a figure Arsenal are willing to pay for Jude Bellingham, and hence they will walk away. And I want to pose this question to you. If we had 150 million euros in the summer, which I know we have, would you rather spend it on one player, that is Jude Bellingham, or would you get 70 or 80 million, spend it on Declan Rice, and get the remaining 70 or 80 million, depending on how much we've spent, and then spend it on a central midfielder? Let me know. Or would you go, let's get Jude Bellingham, beautiful, beautiful guy. I think his football is really growing at a high level and a high pace. 150 million euros, central midfielder for the next 10 years for Arsenal, and then we can sign a defensive midfielder next summer. Let me know in the comment box, because look, we've got to think wisely, very wisely here. Jude Bellingham is one player, and he cannot cover two positions. He cannot play as a defensive midfielder. I don't think he can. Like, I've seen him play at Dortmund. I've not seen him play for any other team, and I support Dortmund. I'm a big fan of Dortmund. And when I look at him play, I think it's more of that kind of, box-to-box man, and not the box-to-box that literally, is Declan Rice. No, I think it's more of what you see Xhaka do at Arsenal. That is him, right? He loves being in those good, occupying those good positions, up top, and he's always going to be tasked with creating chances and making things happen for the team. I like Jude Bellingham. I've already said Arsenal should have signed Jude Bellingham, earlier. Now, the fact that he went to Borussia Dortmund, that is out. The matter is out of our hands right now. I kind of feel like the matter is out of our hands. If he can join Real Madrid, look, I'm a Barca fan, but if he can join Real Madrid, I would be happier, right? I wouldn't really want Jude Bellingham to go to Liverpool. He makes them better. I don't want him to go to Manchester City, definitely. He makes them unstoppable. I don't want him to go to Man United. They are my bitter rivals. I don't want anything for them. I don't want him to go to Chelsea, like Chelsea will become a nuisance of a team. And I don't want him to go to, of course, he can't go to Spurs. So I would like him to go to Real Madrid, if not Arsenal. But for me, if Arsenal had 150 million, I would splash it on him. I mean, this is deluded, right? This is so delusional of me. But I would spend, and I would implore Arsenal to spend 150 million euros on Jude Bellingham. That is how much I like him. That is how much I rate him. I think, we've had the discussions about young players, Musiala, Pedri, Gavi, but Jude is in another level, is at another level. And his performances at the World Cup, they just made me realize how good this boy is. They just made me realize, look, for me, you're looking for a Joshua Kimmich, right? Prototype. It's in Jude Bellingham. But I don't think Arsenal will spend 150 million euros on this guy, given the fact that there's so many central midfielders for us to buy. We could go for a Ruben Neves. He can do the same job. There's so many other players that we can sign for literally half the price. And that's why I think Arsenal will not go for Jude Bellingham. But we are big admirers, and that is something to be proud of, to be honest. That's something to be proud of. If Arsenal looking at Jude Bellingham, we've grown. We've actually really, really grown in terms of, coming all the way as a club. Now, of course, in terms of central midfielders, Arsenal would love to give Granit Xhaka a new deal. He's 30 years old, and they want to give him a 1-year contract extension. Now, I've seen clubs like Man City and Liverpool, they always have those players for pedigree. James Milner, Jordan Henderson, Fernandinho before he left Manchester City. You have the likes of, Ike Gundogan as well in the team. And they just seem never to go away. They always sign that 1-year deal, 1-year deal, 1-year deal. It looks like they're always at the club forever. Right now, if there is a player that has, improved so much for Arsenal, it's Granit Xhaka. And this is very, very surprising, but I wouldn't let him go. Like, I would want to bench him. Don't get me wrong. I would want to bench him all day, every day. But would I let Xhaka go right now, even if he's in the summer? I wouldn't, right? Now, what we're hearing is that a couple of clubs in the Premier League, Italy, and the German Bundesliga are all interested in signing Granit Xhaka. Mikel wants him, and I believe Mikel will keep him. I got no doubts. If we kept Mohamed Elneny, we've got to keep Granit Xhaka. And with Xhaka, I want him for that dressing room mentality. I want him for that, for that big guy in the dressing room. I still remember when we lost against Newcastle, a few clips in the dressing room. Xhaka was absolutely furious. And you remember his interview after the game. He said, look, there is nothing like you're young. If you're not ready to play this kind of games at this level, don't appear on the pitch. Don't come into the starting 11. That's what he said. And is that guy kind of a big guy, big leader, right? So I want him to sign a new deal. Give him a 2-year deal. I don't have a problem with that, right? Give him a 2-year deal. Let him be at the Emirates Stadium until we get a proper combination of a central midfielder and a defensive midfielder. Then him and Partey can go elsewhere and have the parties. But for now, they're stuck with us for life. Now, Arsenal, I expected to pay 25 million euros by Real Valladolid for Ivan Fresneda. Arsenal in the summer were willing to pay around 20 million euros for the 18-year-old right back. He's now our priority at right back, and is a priority for us in the summer. Now, look, there is nothing we know much about Ivan Fresneda. I've watched a few clips of him, and I promise this weekend, I'm going to watch Real Valladolid just to watch Ivan Fresneda in action. That is how badly I want to see him. So look, I'm gonna look at him and I'm going to do a video about this boy. 25 million euros for a right back who's 18 years old. That means this guy must be exceptional, right? You remember when we were linked with the boy at Norwich City was called Aaron. I just forgot his name. The right back at Norwich City that was linked with Man United and Bayern. Actually, yeah, I think he had a deal to Bayern collapse, and then eventually became a trash player. I just forgot his name. I think it was called Aaron something, right? I think it was called Aaron something. So, if Arsenal are going bold for Real Valladolid's Ivan Fresneda, this boy better be different. This boy better be special, right? But I'll look at him. I think 25 million euros is not bad. If Mikel Arteta really wants a player, we've got to back him. There's no question about that. We have to back him. So that is it from me this episode. Saka's new contract update. Arsenal still confident. Real Valladolid are asking Arsenal to pay 25 million euros for Ivan Fresneda. Jude Bellingham is admired at the club, but 150 million euros is still seen as a big hefty fee. And Xhaka's new deal is also in the pipeline, alongside with William Saliba and Bukayo Saka as well. Hit the like button for me. Follow me on the 90 More podcast. I'm going to be uploading a couple of videos for the weekend on the 90 More podcast, including my preview, my match reaction to the Barcelona-Manchester United game, and of course the preview to Arsenal-Leicester City. All will be on the 90 More podcast. So see you there. Love you. Cheers.